Matthew 2:23 says that Jesus being from Nazareth fulfills what the prophet said. But here's the catch. The prophecy doesn't exist. Nowhere does it say in the Old Testament that the Messiah will be from Nazareth. Matthew just made it up.
Shalom, my name is Courtney. I'm a Messianic, and I've already tagged you in some videos on the Alma, the Isaiah chapter 7 passage that hopefully you have watched now. There's tons of videos. It's like my favorite topic, by the way. So tons of other videos if you're interested. But let's get started. So let's just stop and think about this for a minute, right? Because if someone says something like, no, this is not Messianic at all, I go, wait, pause. How do you know? So hold on to your butts. We're about to go fast. So if you look at the reason why Matthew quotes numerous passages, you can see very clearly the reason why he's quoting this is because he's giving you like a chronological timestamp of where you are here on the chronological timeline of like events that the prophets of the past have prophesied about, right? Give you an example. Notice in Isaiah chapter 9, it speaks of like the Galilee, but it says it's going to happen in the future. So that's like a prophecy that's going to happen in the future. It's not for the right now when Isaiah chapter 9's events were happening. It's like in the future. Okay. Hold on to that. We're going to come back to it. Okay. So as you're looking at these passages, he's basically looking them over and he's like, let me help these guys out and let them know where we're at on the timeline. So he's pulling out passages from Jeremiah 31. And you're like, why is he pulling out passages from Jeremiah 31? That's the new covenant, like the famous new covenant, Brit Hadashah chapters, right? Like, what's the point? Why is he doing this? Well, he's basically saying you are here on the map. Okay. And so if you read the chapter, just go read the chapter. But like, it seems like there's a lot of unrelated events or events that just mentioned, right? Rachel weeping for her children. That's one of them. And you're like, wait, Rachel's not here. Like, why would it mention Rachel weeping? Why is this mentioned in the Jeremiah 31, the famous Jeremiah 31 New Covenant chapter? And then you're like going over, why is it that Matthew's calling back to this? Okay. I'll tell you why. So again, remember Isaiah chapter 9 when it speaks about the Galilee in the future, etc. So this is Isaiah chapter 9, 1 and 2, I believe, off the top of my head. Okay. So it's because it's future. Okay. It's like, it's what I call ping ponging you. You're going back and forth in time and future. Okay. So the authors are writing sometimes and they're writing in their time. And then other times they shoot you into the future, i.e. the future messianic redemption. Okay. Now, Jeremiah's doing the same thing. So Jeremiah is just like pointing you to like the Rachel weeping, but like Rachel's not there. Why is Rachel weeping? Well, that was in a future event that had yet to happen. Well, now Matthew's saying, hey, yo, that's happened. That's right now. It's happened in my lifetime. And so he's documenting that and he's putting you in the chronological space timeline of events. And he's saying this happens, but hey, Rachel, don't weep. Why? Why wouldn't Rachel weep, right? Well, because your light has come. Remember about the dawning, the light in the Galilee. Remember in chapter 9, Isaiah chapter 9, where the prophet mentions like they've seen this great light, right? That's the Messiah. Okay, that's his ministry. Did you know that Nazareth, that was in the Galilee? You know it's in the Galilee? You can just Google it maybe if you don't believe me. You can like Google it. And so the point is like your light, your Redeemer, your Messiah, the thing that's going to bring forth your resurrection has come. Don't weep. And that's why this Rachel weeping for her children is mentioned in the famous Jeremiah 31 passage. Hey, Courtney, what's that got to do with the whole you will be called a Nazarene? Great question. Glad you asked. Okay, so we're in Isaiah chapter 60. It says, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. So that is a placeholder for the Messiah. Paul in Ephesians tells you this in case you didn't know. Paul basically says, see the word light, or remove that word and put in Mashiach. That's who's come. And again, it says the glory of the Lord. Who's the glory of the Lord? That's going to be Jesus. Remember Isaiah chapter 6 when he says that he sees the glory of the Lord? He sees Jesus. So yeah, let's continue on to the whole Nazarene thing. How are we able to ascertain that this is like Matthew's point, is that it's about the Nazarene, right? So he's going to be called a Nazarene. So remember, we're in Isaiah 60 right now. So if you scooty boop on down to 21:22, it specifically addresses the fact that there is this netzer, that God is going to plant. Right? And so you have God planting this netzer. You have Isaiah chapter 11, this netzer, who is this netzer? He's the tzemach, the branch, whom is going to be from the line of David, of course. And we know, Redeemer, Messiah, Redeemer, New Covenant, branch, tzemach, the netzer, the shoot. The light, the Jeremiah 31 Redeemer. Bing, bing. Lights should be going off at this point. It is evident that this is messianic. So the prophets don't explicitly need to say and because he goes here and he lives here and his ministry is there, he's going to be called. And he was born in Bethlehem, Micah chapter 5. And they don't need to say it verbatim. They've said it with the theme. And you know that that's Matthew's intent, because if you look at the chapter, he mentions all of these other messianic chapters and passages that pull together the chronological "you are here" on the map, so that you not only know who the Redeemer is, that he has come, and where you are on the timeline, right? Because they knew they were kind of close, right? In the idea of Yemot HaMashiach, the days of the Messiah. These is something Jews study today. They knew, where is he at? Looking for him. But they didn't know explicitly, right the day. Now they know.
21:7 describes Jesus riding 2 donkeys at once going into the passage.
No, it doesn't. It's deeper than that, actually. So first and foremost, I often wonder if people have a problem with the way that Chabad renders Zechariah 9 verse 9. Let's look. Riding a donkey and a foal, the offspring of one of the she-donkeys. That was a Jewish website, an Orthodox Jewish website. But this stupidity, this objection, is only raised by people that are Tovia Singer minions. But let me explain. So the explanation is very clear. So the female donkey is brought along with the underage beast whom had not yet bore a burden. Beast of burden, right? The animals. And so my next question, I just want you to posit this, okay? Because you don't believe that this happens because you're an atheist. But the Jews that you're giving ear to that are telling you this, the Orthodox Jews that are telling you this, that they're called counter missionaries, they're anti-missionaries. I want you to ask them, do you believe that the Messiah, the future Mashiach, do you believe that he's going to come riding in on a donkey? Do you believe that people are going to say, Hoshana, Hoshana? Do you believe that? Do you also believe that Elijah is going to point you to the Messiah? Wait, why does Elijah need to point you to the Messiah? 2025, 2020 something, 2030 something, 40 something, 50 something. Donkey riding Messiah? You have a temple that's going to be built by a Messiah. Why do you need Elijah? I want you to sit and meditate on that for a minute, okay? Because remember, they don't think it's already happened. So they got to have a Messiah coming in on a donkey in the future, this modern world that we live in. And that's fine. In the Middle East, it's fine. But you have some other explaining to do, because there's a lot of other passages that are contradicting. And see, the Talmud even mentions this, right? Why is it that the Messiah is lowly in Zechariah chapter 9, but he's riding on the clouds in Daniel chapter 7? Essentially, they just toss out one or the other. And they say, if we're good, it'll happen this way. If we're bad, it'll happen this way. So, they're not telling you that whenever you're listening to their videos on the internet. So rather than an uncharitable reading that Jesus is riding both mother and son donkey, standing up like a circus ringleader, you could clearly see that since they're all throwing their cloaks up there, the them could be the cloaks or the them could be the animals, just what the implication is that the mother was brought along to keep this young colt whom has not bore a burden yet. He's this young colt, that's why it's a colt, so that he would stay calm. It really is that simple.
The Old Testament, honestly, how are we to trust his New Testament? In order for me to become a Christian, I have to have these questions answered.
I think he does quote them honestly. And the Orthodox Jewish Chabad website in the rendering has no problem with the way that it's rendered. So my question is, you as an atheist who don't even believe in these prophecies to begin with, are you given a charitable reading? How much of the Hebrew Bible do you actually know about Messianic prophecies? And second, maybe third, my question is, are you willing to learn, or are you dogmatically stuck in being an atheist? Shalom.